In the second part of this tutorial, we will add the objects to the stage, animate them on hover or click, and we'll also make the player transparent so that we can go ahead and add the background in the third part of this tutorial. So let's get started in Storyline and open up a brand new Storyline project. So as you can see here, this is just a regular Storyline project, and what we're going to do first is we're going to edit the player so that the player is transparent, and then the background's transparent so we can see through the actual stage to the background that we put in. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get rid of the next and previous buttons. So click on the properties gear down here under base layer, and we can deselect the previous and next buttons there, and we'll get rid of those. And the next part of this, what we're going to do is to make the player transparent. I already have one saved, and it's a good idea once you create one to have it saved. And this just takes a minute to load. And in this main features part here, let's disable these different items that are all around that you can see here. So we'll get rid of resources, we'll get rid of menu, we'll get rid of the title, and we'll get rid of the volume. So now as you can see, we just have this slide here that we want to make transparent, and then we have the player around the slide that we want to make transparent. So we'll go to colors and effects, and we'll just create a duplicate of this scene that has everything in it. And we'll call it transparent, and I'll just call it transparent test. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead into the advanced color settings, and that's where we're going to make everything transparent. So show advanced color setting under color effects. And then as you can see, the transparency is 0%. 0% means that it's not transparent, and we want to make it 100% transparent. So the transparency needs to be 100%. So on that main background here, it's going to be 100% once we put that in. And then another piece that we want to do is we want to go through everything on this base layer here and just make these all 100%. So we have that one. We need to do the border, separator, and so on and so forth. So go through all of those and make sure that they're all at 100% transparency. And let's just see if there's anything else in here that we need to change. I don't think that there is. If you're going to add any other items, you can make sure that they're not transparent. Just for this example, I like to make sure that I'm only using the base layer and not using any of these other items. So let me go back to one that I have already set as transparent. This is what it should look like on your preview here, and click OK. Right now, what you can do is you can still see this stage, and something that I like to do is to right click and go to Format Background, and when you do that, you can see our transparency is 0, but we want it to be 100% for the background. But what we're going to do is we're going to change it to a different color, and this will allow us to know if it's actually transparent or not, because it's still going to be white if you have it set at 100% transparency. So we'll close that. And this is something we're going to keep for right now because we want to add our objects in, and it's easier to see where they are and what we're doing with them. So let's go to Insert Picture under Insert. And we're going to insert some of these pictures that we created. So the first one is coffee cup, so we'll click on the coffee cup and open it. And as you can see, it's huge. It doesn't really quite fit the stage, and you can make the stage a different size as well. But what I did was, because we're customizing a desktop, I made this so that you can move them around. So you can make them smaller. Maybe you would just want an espresso cup instead of a coffee cup. Maybe it's really little. And then we can go ahead and insert other ones. So we could insert the book, or whatever you have made. We can make the book a little smaller, put it over here. You could tilt them if you want, but we'll just leave it straight for now. And we'll do these two. We won't do the pencil. And the way that I got these animated was with state changes. For this, what we're going to do is we're going to insert the coffee cup again, or we could, let's see, insert picture coffee cup, and we want to grab the one that has the highlight or stroke around it. And as you can see, if we put this in the state right now, it's going to be huge. So we want it to be the exact same size as this one. And so you have your coffee cup selected, and it's 188 by 196. So we want to make sure this one's the same exact thing. So this is 188 by 196, and you can see it pretty much goes over it, but I'll show you guys how to add it after. And then on the desk version, you saw the animate when you hover over it. So what we want to do is go to animations while we have this selected. And because we have the whole coffee cup and not just the stroke, we're going to do a wheel animation because it comes in flawlessly. So what we'll do with this, and you can see it's on entrance, you can just play around with that and see what other kind of animations you want to use. We'll do copy, and then when we click on the coffee cup original, we want to go to edit states, and we want to create a new state and call it hover. And this will automatically add a hover state. And we want to copy that coffee cup with the stroke into it. And as you can see, it's not aligned with this. The easiest and quickest way to align it is to go to format, go to size and position, right click on it, size and position, and then we want the position to be 0, 0 because that's going to align up here with our point of origin. So as you can see, we've got that right on top, and you can go ahead and delete the one on the bottom if you want, but for time's sake, we'll just leave this. So I'm done editing that. I'm back in the original here, and we can just get rid of this one with the stroke. So now if I go to preview, we should be able to see that animation. And as you can see, the animation goes in flawlessly. And for people that are on mobile, obviously hover's not going to work. So something that I also did was I added a trigger up here in the triggers panel when I have the coffee mug selected, and I had that change state of on object or picture 1, and we want to change the state to hover. So if someone's on a phone, you can also do it that way. So we've got that one done. Next thing, let's go ahead and do the book, and then we will publish and add that background and make sure that our background's transparent on here. So we're adding the book, and the book is 470 by 294. So we'll go ahead and do this. And I'll go ahead and pause this and then show you guys the next step. All right, so I went ahead and added the animation and state change to the book for you guys. The last step in this is you want to right click your stage and go to format background, and you want to make the transparency of this background 100%, so that when we go ahead and add that background with the wood, we want to be able to see that through the stage, and the objects are not sitting on top of some other color like that orange color that we had. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and publish. The next step will be adding that wood background.